gonna call the meeting to order at 6:04. And we'll do a roll call. Scott?
Here.
Brittany?
Here.
Bradford?
On the phone.
And myself, John, is here. Approval of meeting agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries to approve the agenda. Next item on the agenda is student staff community recognition. I don't see anything. Is there anything to add? No.
There is none.
Next item is the 30, 60, 90-day planning.
Did we lose the treasurer's report and expense?
No, that would be a regular meeting.
Gotcha.
So,
Sorry.
that's all right. So, great thing to note is that the start of school is in a 30-day window.
Where's the time go?
Right.
Anything else? And there's open house on the 27th.
There is, absolutely, so. I did put it in there, typically I keep my military orders out of this, but I also want to make sure that we're aware of it, that this starts to cover into part of the school year in the beginning. So, just so the board and whatnot has understanding of that piece, so,
Okay.
anyway.
Ann, anything to add?
No, not too much. So you said just kind of finalizing a little bit of the in-service schedule. We'll get that out this week and, yeah, just.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll be talking about that here in a minute, so.
Student handbook updates.
Yeah, so in front of you, you have the elementary and the middle school and high school handbook. There were some revisions that were made over the summer, so if you wanna take a look, if you have any questions or comments.
Any major revision or just minor?
Just minor, just kinda cleaning some things up, making it more consistent across the board, and then in addition, just, kinda defining our truancy process and attendance matters a little bit more in detail.
Okay, and that's for both elementary, middle school, high school handbook?
Yeah, for the most part.
All right.
So, she does have it marked in there, the yellow is addition, and then the red strikeout is proposed deletions. So.
Okay. Next item is Just Kids Dental MOU.
Yes, so every year we've had Just Kids Dental come in and provide some service for our young students. And it is free of charge. It's just a memorandum of understanding that it's an agreement between the district that we're allowing them to come in to provide this service, and they're providing that service at no charge.
And why did they do that?
It provides stuff such as fluoride treatments and just other low-tech services for our young students. Primarily our students in 4K through first grade, so.
Okay. This is basically a continuation of
It is.
what we're
And
doing.
this is a pretty common practice in a number of districts as well, so.
Okay.
They do get paid through, or if it's an insured dental or insurance form, I believe still, don't they?
I think so, Brad. Yeah.
Okay, nothing else. We'll move on to the Spanish teacher shared service agreements.
Absolutely. So, as we had talked about previously about trying to share some of our service with Northwood. Northwood, I had worked with the superintendent, Scott Kelly, there about Spanish services, they had a teacher there that left, and they no longer have the availability of Spanish in person, which they're planning on having for their middle school. So reaching a deal here to share the services for Spanish, in-person Spanish with middle school. And he took the proposed contract to his board for approval, and it has been approved by Northwood. So it's just going through if we want to approve this contract or if there's amendments, and we work through that process, so.
So it looks like it's basically a 70-30 split.
That's correct.
Okay. Do we want to try to do this before the next board meeting and before school starts, at least?
Our board meeting is on the 18th, so this will be prior to the start of their school year.
Okay.
So I mean, it is totally the board's option to either approve it tonight or approve it at a regular meeting, so.
Okay.
Their first day of school is technically the 27th. I know they start a little bit earlier, but it's not tremendously long. So it's 3 days prior to our start, so.
Okay.
And when is their next board meeting?
The 18th.
18th.
Yeah.
That's all, I cannot be there for that, but I'll be in, not for that.
All right. I think that's, anyway, okay. I appreciate you sharing that with the board, Brad, so we'll just make sure we mark that.
Okay, I think we can handle this by the 18th and the next board meeting. This is the first we've had, I think, an opportunity to take a look at the actual agreement
Mhm.
and the numbers breakdown.
Right.
So we need to vote for approval.
Okay, social media guidelines and presence. I believe we did discuss this the last meeting.
We did, but we were pushing this to this month to have further discussion about actual social media sites, because we kind of chatted about, right now we have one site for everything, whether it's Facebook or if it's Instagram and whatnot. There's some that like that and some that do not like that. And we had discussed the possibility of maybe having a single site for athletics and a single site for the district period. So you get some athletic stuff getting into our district site, but it's mainly big items versus, athletics, it's athletics 24/7. So, but once again, I wanted to get your take on it. We've seen feedback from other entities that the more the more sites that the district has, the greater liability we have. So just trying to strike a balance here. I wanted to bring it into one because this past year, simply because there were so many, and just to get a feel for what this would look like. And I think everyone's gotten a flavor as to how things operate with one site. So anyway, just opening it back up here, is that what we want to do? We want to maintain what we've done for 24-25. Do we want to look at adding that second for just athletics alone? And then also if there's anything specific with the guidelines that we want to alter.
Yeah.
So.
Well, just in viewing it myself over the last year, I mean, most of the content on the district site was athletic. So I think we'll certainly, if we have a non-athletic district page, we either have to put more on it, or
Right.
we'll just live with, there's not gonna be a lot of content there.
Right. I know that in some of the discussions last week with some of the lead teachers, when we were talking on the charters, they recognize the fact that we need to get more stuff, more content on our sites. And this needs to go across the board, because we have great things that are going on here, but we tend to forget about that. And if we're taking just a moment to take a picture and then just a little snip and sending it to someone to post, I think we can get in that routine of doing it. So, yes, I recognize what you're saying there, is we need more content when it comes to, you know, our academics and the great things that are happening beyond our athletics.
Yeah, and I mean, that's
So-
a good outreach for our community.
Right.
I'm sure everybody under a certain age is on Instagram, everybody at a certain age is on Facebook.
Right.
But just, you know, the conversations I've had, people appreciate knowing, it's their way of knowing what's going on in the school.
Right.
But they don't have kids in the school,
Yep.
or even if they do. But the more information or highlights we can push out, the better. And if we do more of that, then it makes sense to have 2 separate pages. But if we,
Right.
you know,
Check. And as I look at it, if we're going down the route that we've been talking about, we need to have more content that's going out, talking about our facilities and our classrooms and what's going on in our classrooms. Because that's gonna help tell our story and provide, this is why we're pursuing this,
Yeah.
right? So,
because if Montessori wants to advertise what they're doing, this is one form to do it.
Right.
Maybe they have other outlets, but again, for a large segment of the district, that's probably a
Right.
good place to put it.
it is. And that's why I was saying with last week, they recognize that they have to get more content, you know, into our social media and other platforms.
Yeah.
Because they're talking about the same thing, about promotion and marketing. You know, that's where you gotta look at it, is it's not just providing information, but it's also, it's a marketing and promotional strategy for our district. You know, and you know, taking a look at, you know, some of the changes from the state budget, you know, this is another good piece of this. If we're bringing more kids in for open enrollment, actually they increased, the state legislature increased the amount of funds that go with a kid in open enrollment. So it's getting better for us to have those open enrollment kids in. So that's another avenue to really promote our district, so.
Well, I'd recommend we try the 2 pages. We can always go back to one after the year, or
Right.
half a year, or however long we wanna take a look at it.
Mhm.
I don't know how everybody else feels, but.
I would agree.
I agree.
Okay.
And then is there a way to, like, anything that changes on the school calendar or any upcoming events that automatically gets posted to a Facebook? Or is that happening now? 'Cause I don't necessarily see that.
Can, like what, Brad? Sorry.
Well, I mean, like, when they have these little extra things, maybe if they go on a trip or something, that post it on Facebook. You know, I mean, we're doing it during the, for the quarterly newsletter, it would be nice when these
R-
Facebook things, or
r-
maybe make it something where a teacher every week does a certain thing on their class or something, just get more content to that page.
Right. And that's, no, I hear what you're saying, and I think that's the piece that we're failing to capture is, you know, we're doing all kinds of great things, but what's actually getting back to, you know, our posts and our social media is limited, and I'm right there with you. To me, that's low hanging fruit that we need to take advantage of, so, anyway.
Yeah, because sometimes the calendar is a little more static, on the
Right.
district site, where you can post things on Facebook, it seems much quicker.
Mhm.
A game time has changed or something else. A lot of times I've found out about it on Facebook and not necessarily on the school calendar.
Right.
It doesn't, you know, if something gets changed from 7 to 6,
Yeah. Right.
so it'd be nice if we can keep those consistent too.
Right. And that's where I guess that's where I'm going with this, that if we're maintaining that separate sports, we have to continue to have some of those feeds coming into our main one.
Yeah.
So, and that would be a prime example of it, so,
Okay.
anyway. Cause I know when we're, you know, the sports side, you know, people can follow, you know, what's going on, but if there are specific changes, you know, we talked about this with, you know, last month, Nate, you know, talking about the platform that all coaches are gonna use to notify parents and students of changes. So then, it's more imperative to get it on a regular site with the changes, right? So, anyway.
Okay. Any discussion on the guide, the media guide itself? Hopefully everybody's had a chance to take a look at it. I think it's fine the way it's written. There's nothing I can see that I would think should be changed. If anybody else
No, I
does.
don't think so either. I mean, yeah, especially if you're gonna have multiple people, post, the more you post, the more it goes out.
Right.
Too. Like if you post daily, that tends to hit people's thing, but if you post like every couple days, then it doesn't. It falls off. Facebook only puts out people that post a lot.
Right. And I know that a person that's provided a number of the athletic feeds, or feeds, I should say, has talked about that very point, that the more you have going out, the more it's going to, message and send out messages to people. It's gonna be higher on your feed list.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, do we wanna consider approving it now? I mean, because fall sports are gonna start populating different things
Mhm.
pretty soon.
You're right.
I'll make the motion we approve the attached policy, or however it is.
Okay, and having two separate pages, one for the district as a whole and one for athletic?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay,
Second.
okay. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Okay, return to school week and open house is next on the agenda.
Just chatting about, so that return to school week begins on the 25th, and once again, we've scheduled the open house on the 27th, and that is to begin at 4. That follows very much the typical pattern that we've had previously. We'll see if there's, I'm just wondering if there's any concern or issue with running that at the same time.
In the same time as what?
As previous years.
Oh, okay. Are you wanting board members to attend, or are they welcome to attend, or what are your thoughts?
Right, I would strongly encourage, board members to attend if they can, because I think it just provides that opportunity. I think the other thing too, as we look at our building study, once again, my objective is to have, information from that building study for the public that day. And I think if we have that information, it's gonna be even more imperative to have representation there. Because I'm sure people are gonna be talking about it and are gonna have some questions, right? So I think it's in our best interest to try to plan for that. I will get more information on the building study. I will be talking to Jason Plant from Markin and Johnson tomorrow to start this process, so anyway.
Okay, so fellow board members, you're all encouraged to attend if your schedule allows.
So,
Okay, next item is, PO 5460 graduation requirements.
absolutely.
Right?
So this is a follow-up from last month we talked about in lieu of PE with our athletics, and this would be an addition to our current policy that matches up with that. So we'd actually have it in policy and in practice, if that makes sense. So, and what we have there with the green is just entering it, it's just interscholastic athletics, because right now we don't have marching band, cheerleading, or anything else. I think we can take a look at that later on down the road if we want to add more to it. But I think the big thing we talked about was the athletic piece of this. And what we mentioned is that this is going into the handbook, and then it starts the spring season of 10th grade, goes through fall season of 12th grade. So that's where this is matching up and aligning. And then the second paragraph, I checked it, it doesn't have to be there, but I will say that the verbiage in that second paragraph is almost verbatim from state law.
All right, well, since this is the first time we've seen it in this format, let's
Mhm.
do that, I recommend we do that at the regular board meeting. Take a look at approving that.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay, it looks like that is it on the agenda.
I'll make the motion to convert it convenient to closed session pursuant to Wisconsin Stats 19.851 C to consider compensation performance evaluation data of any public employee which over the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercise responsibility.
Second? All right, Brittany? Okay, moving to closed session.
All in favor?
At
Aye.
7:26.
Absolutely. All right. Shall do. All right, I'm just gonna text,
Was there a parent meeting tonight for athletics? And is that already, what time was that kicking off at?